So once again, welcome back to the Female Dota 2 Southeast Asian League Season 2. My name is Maya and I'm joined by Andy Tron from MTS. Um, Andy, we've seen a fantastic game being played by both. It was really close last game. Do you think Rhodora would come back in this game?
Yeah, definitely. Like Rhodora almost brought it back last game. That was very, very close. But the Dukiro, sorry, I like to call him THD. But, but he did some amazing ice pumps in the last two fights, and we were able to turn those team fights around, especially with the spirits and Timbersaw taking manning up for the damage and taking one for the team, and just being the frontline man. And that was it.
Yeah, so we both are, as I've mentioned before, we both are more familiar with the Australian scene, and we usually see Timbersaw as well as heroes like the Amber Spirit, Slug even get banned out first. And having Timbersaw in the pool just now was just didn't go so well because he had Rhodora.X. They had a life stealer, and life stealer doesn't do so well against the Timbersaw.
Yeah, the Timbersaw can basically just get away. I mean, sure, if Timbersaw builds health and unless they jump someone, that's a little bit of a different story, but Timbersaw can just kite around for days and that'll be the end of his life still.
Right. Because the DTO ban out the Doom, they really don't like that Doom there. They're gonna ban out the Venomancer as well, and Rhodora.X gonna ban out the Nyx Assassin, which was one of their first bans as well. And now they're gonna ban out the Bristleback as well, so maybe they're afraid that DTO gonna go for the armor strat where the armor and physical strat where you have the Bristleback, but then again Bristleback is always a good pick or ban. That's my opinion.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, he's able to prolong the team fight. It's like similar to like Dirge or like dying. He prolonged the fight with him. Zombies just took over the team fight, and that was the end of it. With Bristleback, you've got goo, you've got your damage, you've got your coils. It's just a lot better than Dirge in a nutshell. But anyway, we are going to see this fair pick. I'm really interested what they decide to go.
I really want to see some Storm Spirit plays actually. I don't know because I've actually not seen any Storm Spirit plays in Season 1 and Season 2 right now. I mean, of course, Season 2, we are just 2 days in, so, we're trying to figure out how some of the new teams here I've seen. We've both just casted like for 4 teams here in total, and it's just really gonna be very exciting because I kind of feel females, we play with a different mindset. Like, wow. Just as I mentioned it, the Mirana, the first pick up there. What do you make of this?
It's not good. It's not bad. Either way, it's just Mirana. That's what I think of that hero. It's just Mirana. Excuse me. Well, you got to figure out where she's going to go, whether or not she's going to try to arrow you at level 1, and then you just got to be really cautious around team fights for the Mirror Shadow, which is basically a free smoke, and it doesn't cost any money.
But it costs mana, so.
Yeah, mana v money. Yeah, it's just a comparison. So I like to see these 2 picks from Ronda, Crystal Maiden. I'm not sure if that was Ronda who had it last time. I think it was DTO. Yeah. So Ronda had the Crystal Maiden, so they value this hero a lot, and I would understand why.
Well, I would have loved to see them actually pair up the Crystal Maiden with the Bristleback, because that means Bristleback can just spam his skills so much more. Early game, he is kind of mana dependent, but once Crystal Maiden has points in her aura, he's gonna go ham with those quill sprays. But apparently, Rhodora.X, they love their Crystal Maiden a lot. I believe that was the captain, who was on the Crystal Maiden in the previous game, and that's just I don't know. She did have some pretty good freezing fields, but that was pretty much about it. Her contribution was just like her freezing fields, her slows, and I don't think she even got many wards because overall Rhodora.X, they were so behind on goal.
Yeah, they were really, really defensive out there. choices like that. There's nothing wrong with being way too defensive, but you've got to have those wards out to just dictate where they are. So you are really right about their lack of vision. That game was very, very high, and that has to be taken into account.
Yeah. So Rhodora.X taking quite a bit of time to pick up their second hero here. Looking to see if anyone disconnected. Yeah, we've got a few disconnects, but it's not on Rhodora.X. And you think we've seen them play Rhodora.X. They kind of wanted to go for the late game with that life stealer, and we were talking about it. You didn't like the life stealer getting a Midas at 11 minutes in. I didn't even like it either. It was just too late for him.
In the end, you got to say that it was a good Midas because it almost brought them back in the game. It was a 10k deficit that what they had, and then they won a rush fight, which brought it down to 4k. And it kept going down, but until they lost team fights, it went up and down. And the Midas was trying to equilibrium that, but it needed to do more work and bring that gold chart way down. But it's just a hand of Midas. So, but there is a Clinks pick, and I don't know. I haven't seen much of this hero being played a lot in the Australian scene, or really much in the competitive scene at all. But I have seen the EE Sama alternately and the Clinks, so I'm a huge fan of that. But I'm not really sure how Clinks is going to work out this game. So Sand King again, they really value this Sand King. Was that on DTO? Yes, it was.
Yes,
I remember that. So they really value the Sand King, and here comes the second stage of the bans.
Well, if they have a Clinks, the only heroes I can think of that can shut down a Clinks would be heroes like Puck, Queen of Pain, maybe a Storm Spirit as well. But because Clinks, he is so slippery, with his skeleton walk, he gets the bonus movement speed as well, which is OP. No one on DTO right now can really catch him.
Yeah, but in the same factor, it's a Clinks with that boost level 1 is like really, really slow, and Senki Mirana, it's always going to be a good combination. One of the best combinations to have with the Mirana, because it just sets it up with the arrow for in total, it's 7 seconds of stun. And no one's going to live that long through stuns, especially 3 people if they decide to go to tri lane. So, especially if they have vision to decide where he is.
Exactly, and DTO now they're going to ban out the Earthshaker as well as the Slark here, and Rhodora.X going to ban out the Death Prophet, so they really don't rinse the Death Prophet. Because Clinks as well as Crystal Maiden, they're just so squishy right now, and I believe Death Prophet's ultimate ghost goes through Invis units.
Yes. I'm not entirely sure about that one, but I would imagine that it would. If someone's Invis around them, then the ghost would hit him. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll have to check on that, and it looks like Rhodora.X, they probably heard me or something. Nah, I'm kidding. There is a 2 minutes delay on this stream, so as I was mentioning, a Puck can, to me in theory, a Puck can counter a Clinks really easily, and they are not gonna let that Puck get picked up by DTO.
But at the same time, Clinks can pick up one item and then just destroy that Puck. And that's an awkward. But that's entirely based on the fact Clinks is given farm, but I don't think that's really going to happen.
I think this Clinks is get off lane, and we will see a Crystal Maiden and Vengeful Spirit in the safe lane here, because Clinks, he has the escape mechanism of the skeleton walk. Even if you have dust, he can just skeleton walk away, and he will generally be faster than.
But you have to take into the consideration that dust slows at the same time. They changed that a long time ago. Yes, they have.
Okay, I've not been keeping up with the meta then.
That's fair. Yeah. So at the same time, dust does slow people when they get vision of them. So it may negate the move speed completely. So I'm not entirely sure, but yeah.
Well, then this Clinks has to watch out then. But yeah, they could, of course, Rhodora.X could, of course, send Vengeful Spirit into the off lane, but that's going to be very dangerous because she has no escape mechanism. She has very little mana as well. And I think her move speed is much slower as compared to last time.
So what Rhodora are trying to do is the Vengeful Spirit and Lunar Aura, which is actually really good on paper because, it's like, plus 38 damage, and then you got like 36% damage. Like, what what damage, you know?
Such damage.
Much, yeah, exactly. And then, you know, then they've got DK, which is actually going to be, I would say their middle laner, because DK does really well in the middle lane, but Rhodora can pick whatever middle lane they would like against that DK. I mean, that's what I would be thinking, that DK is going to be middle, but, you know, DTO's pick right now, not really entirely sure. They either have to go, like, you know, a carry, if the Mirana's not going carry, another support, like, you know, it's many different things to go. They actually decide to go the Pugna, which I haven't seen a lot of. He was very good when push strats were in the meta, because
Yeah.
he stopped them completely with the Plague Lord, and, you know, he was a pusher himself with Netherblast, so he was good both ways. But, you know, that ward in team fights was legit the most annoying thing majority of the time, because, you know, it did so much damage. And, you know, look at all these squishy supports, you know, they pop their big ultimates, and, you know, and then the ward just does a lot of damage as well, and then suddenly they're dead.
Yeah, I think, you know, this Netherwat's going to actually stop Clinks as well, because when he uses his Strafe and Searing Arrows together, it's just going to hurt him so much. I believe Searing Arrows actually procs the ward, so Clinks has to watch out around that. DTO is going to get denied the Lion though, but I don't think they were going to pick up the Lion at all. I mean, of course, the Crapify from Pugna into Lion's Finger hurt so much, so...
You're definitely right about that.
Yeah. Rhodora.X, good to ban out the Lion here, but, you know, I kind of felt that they should have been banning out a mid lane hero or another hard carry, because daytime only right now, they do have the Dragon Knight, they do have the Mirana, but that's about it. Both heroes kind of need, or at least to me, they need quite a bit of farm. They can get online.
Now,
Wow.
as you were saying, here comes the big boy himself, the Storm Spirit. Yeah, I really do value this hero, because he can do amazing things if you play him correctly, and, you know,
and you play him well too.
I don't know about that, but, you know, there's many different things that the Storm Spirit can do, but, you know, here comes the Weaver pick. I don't like that at all, especially against Storm Spirit. It's just like, you know, Storm can get an Orchid and just say,
Goodbye.
"You're mine. You're dead. You are mine now." And that's just it, because Weaver doesn't really have much space stats, you know. And, you know, Storm versus DK, majority of the time, Storm does win that, because, you know, his static remnants just do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and it forces DK out of the lane as well.
Exactly right. You have to excuse me for like 2 seconds here.
No problem. So we're gonna just look at the heroes very quickly. We have Maddie. I think I'm gonna just call her Maddie right now. On Rhodora.X, she's on the Storm Spirit. They are on the Radiant side this time around. BB Rosha reprising her role as a carry player on the Luna here. Ivy on the Crystal Maiden. Pertz on the Vengeful Spirit, and Dandy on the Clinks. So in the previous game, we saw Dandy in the mid lane. So we will see if she goes off lane this time around or hang around in mid lane. If a Storm Spirit can go solo off lane as well, but, you know, that's gonna give they're just gonna give the lane to BB Rosha. So yeah, welcome back. I was just talking about the teams.
Yeah, so yeah, we do have Storm Spirit offlane is just like, no, I don't like it at all. I prefer his jazz walk style in the middle lane, especially against the excuse me, the DK, who has not opted to go with shield, and I think this is a terrible mistake. Well, not terrible, a dire mistake, because, like, much pun. I'm very sorry, but, you know, like, you know, because the Storm Spirit just harasses him with the 59 damage is actually really good, and starts remedying. The guy just can not. DK just can't really do anything. So, like, but we do have a Pugna aggressive tri-lane here with the Mirana, with the Pugna being support. I haven't seen it before, so, like, you know, it's very interesting to run against the Luna, because I completely understand that the aggro against the Luna, because Luna, if she gets to go free farm, you know, that's basically, you know, that's a very dangerous thing to do. We do have this pause coming out for the Storm, questioning marking majority of, I don't know, the pause. But anyway, we do have Clinks here on the offlane. He goes Searing Arrow first. It's a 1v versus 1 matchup, so it looks like she actually read this, and I think, you know, it's very close, but I think Clinks will majority of the time win this because of searing arrows, and once it's 6 at the time. Now Luna is really, really out of position right now and realizes that it is an aggressive try, and 2 versus 3 is not really something that I really want to have. The rune's called top, and now odds like Storm Spirit's already 3-0. I suspect him, be up in this DK fest. So now he's level 2. To start, being all up in his face. Just pull the creeps away, to just be all up in his face. Force the creeps up to the tower. Force him to his last hits. That's the way he should be playing right now. Yeah, so that's the way he should be playing right now. Easy peasy, and that's the way the lane is basically won.
Yeah, and Juno's gonna have a hard time because she has been owed 2 tangles, and now with sharing of tangles, it's a minute cooldown in between each tangle.
Sorry to interrupt you, but in the top lane, where Clinks is taking a lot of damage, and Weaver actually could have taken that opportunity because he was actually really low, and the Worm would have actually almost, gave him enough damage to kill him too. But we do have Mirana farming in this bottom lane. He's actually doing 3 and 2, but the Luna is 1 and 0, so they are denying her farm like a little bit, but no. At the same time, they got 3 people down here now. Ventural's got the stun. Luna trying to get the last ditch that she can, and the supports are smoked up right now, so let the spotter alone. The arrow goes out to this Luna, and the supports were there. I felt like that was an easy kill. That would have been an easy kill right there. So, nice early aggression from the Mirana right there, realizing the fact, the creeps were dead, and it's probably the most simplest tactic I've ever seen, using the creep, but they're realizing that Storm Spirits are playing really aggressive in this middle lane, and they need to try and do something. But at the same time, DK is in a lot of trouble. Juno's in a lot of trouble, and now one is like 10 HP. Now suddenly the Storm Spirit's in trouble, and he's in a lot of trouble. He needs to try and return kill this if he wants to try and live, but he's going to die as a result. But there's an illusion room, but no, he's dead.
And I didn't miss it.
Yeah, Juno got his bottle as soon as the bird came and popped it, so that really saved her life.
Yeah, this is the problem with Storms being so aggressive because pre-6, you're very, 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 very easy to kill.
Yeah,
very easy to kill. And the build that the Storm Sphere is going, I haven't played it before, but it's not bad. So I generally like maxing Overload before Q with 3 points in Static Remnant, because Static Remnant you need 3 levels of to get them pulled towards your Vortex, to get it pulled in towards your Remnant. And that's generally the whole combo with Storm Spirit. You grab, you zip, pull, Remnant, meanwhile doing the attacks with Overload as well. It's a lot of things to keep in mind. So, but anyway, I really should focus on the other heroes except for the hero that I majority play. So we do have Mirana just falling back a little bit. Forced to use the leap. We do have the top lane Rune of Illusion going to the DK. The top of Rune going to DK. With Weaver versus Clinks. Weaver is actually leading the way with 7 last 8. Sorry, last hits. The Clinks is only on 4, so she.
Well, the thing is that Weaver can use his use the Shukuchi to spam and try to get last hits as well, whereas Clinks is just forced to stand there and reveal himself every time he wants to right-click someone. And that's just gonna be so dangerous for him because he doesn't have both heroes actually, they don't have a high mana pool early game, but his Clinks searing arrows just cost so much mana for him right now, and that Scattered Walk as well, it's 75 mana. That means he can only spam it with whatever mana he has left right now, he can only spam it 2 times more.
Yeah, exactly right. So SK's got just regeneration, not tangos, no nothing, just standard regeneration of just pots and clarities, or 1 salve and clarity. We do have a few tangos, branches, and clarities and all that, and the support. So there's not really too much to really talk about right now, except the 500 gold lead of DTO, and it's just like DTO experience lead is basically exactly the same.
Yeah, well, so while we wait for the game to unpause, for those viewers on the Twitch stream, thank you very much for tuning in. We do have an in-game ticket as well. That's a DotaTV ticket. So do support us by buying that ticket, because I believe some of the money will actually go towards the prize pool for this tournament. And so for those who don't know, Furryfish is one of the admins for this tournament. I myself am one of the admins as well. And it's it's really great to be casting and adminning for this tournament. And if you guys, if you guys have any feedback, do always leave it on our Facebook page. That's the Female Dota 2, or you can leave it on my personal Facebook page as well. That's facebook.com/dt.maya. And of course, Andy and I, we are both from MTS Gaming, so do give our website a check out, a lookout as well. A checkout, lookout. Well, it is still under construction, so that's mts-gaming.net.
So as we get back into this game, we do have the supports rotating onto this bottom lane, and the Vengeful Spirit just having a little bit of a peek around, but the Lunas has realised that she needs to take a step back because, 511 HP is not really what you need. Runner's forced to leap, and now the SK is in a bit of a bad position. Pops the stun, he has no mana to Sandstorm. That's going to be first blood to the creep. Oh, not first blood, but, death from him. And now the Mirana's out of position, and now Lucid B needs to be popped to get this kill. Oh, she's going a little bit ham, but she will be able to get that. But, they need to swap this tower aggro, or she will eventually die. But the Pugner may be picking up this kill, and he will. So a little bit of an exchange there. But, a carry for a support, a carry for a carry under support. I think that was the trade. That's a better trade. But, Luna being the trade, I'm not really sure if that's, a good one.
Yeah, simply because we were discussing about Luna before. She's one of your favorite heroes to play, and she does have a fancy set on her. Apart from that, early game, you mentioned that she's just so squishy. She doesn't have the best of stats gain as well.
Mm-hmm.
That trait is just not going to go in her favor.
Yeah, Luna needs to just get past that mark. SK is going really aggressive, and Vengeful takes advantage of that. But here comes the Pugner ward though. Here comes the arrow and the Vengeful Spirit, and that's the death of Vengeful. She was out of position. Way too aggressive in the defensive tri lane. But Barana has got a boots, and Pugner he's got 1.5k out of that, out of his 3 kills. That's such a really amazing on support. She's able to pick up her arcane boots right here and now at 4 minutes, so that's real good.
Yeah, and it's the Pugner ward that is basically shredding them right now. He's chosen to go for 2 in Nether Blast as well as 2 in Nether Ward, so no Decrepify just yet, and you don't really need a point in Decrepify because you have Mirana for that right click damage, and you have enough disables coming out from Sand King as well as Mirana with the stuns. So Decrepify here right now is just to help set up for those stuns, and right now, the way that Rhodora.X is playing, they are just walking into those stuns. They're just setting themselves up to be killed.
Storm Spirit is doing really, really, really well, as I suspected him to. He's 31-1 against the 16-1 DK, so he's way far ahead. He's doing amazing, and he decides to go this with the help of Vengeful Spirit, and that's pretty much a guaranteed kill. He hasn't really managed his mana that well, but it will be enough to get the kill.
Yeah, I've seen some spirits just try to zip across the screen and, only to find out that they have no more mana left. Any tips for players who want to play Storm Spirit?
At level 1, the speed of the ball is not really as fast as level 16, of course, but, just try to be efficient on your mana. Always remember tread switching, in the bottom lane. I will stop that for a moment. In the bottom lane, we do have Vengeful Spirit stunned. Just sees the Pugner, but suddenly realize that the SK is there, so, wants to try and get something going up, but the Plague Ward's out, and this is going to be something that's very, very painful to them. Now the Vengeful Spirit is really caught out of position, but the arrow has not been thrown yet. The arrow has still not been thrown yet, and I was expecting it to thrown maybe a while ago. She needs to try and throw it. It goes a little bit straight down the line, but Vengeful is still, go a little bit far forward, and suddenly SK is trying to, no, he misses the stun, so he's forced to back off now. But you suddenly Storm Spirit's coming from behind, but the Plague Ward's going to be really annoying, but he has the DD room with the overload. And suddenly, he hasn't got any mana right now, but he's in a bit of trouble, but he still has that wand. Suddenly Weaver needs to be in trouble, and here comes the pull, and here comes the DD win with the overload. That is really well played from those 2 supports there, backing up that Storm Spirit there.
Wow, that Storm Spirit just came in, and even Weaver TP'd from top lane to come in and to try to help, and basically got killed. I believe that was 3 heroes down?
2 heroes, I think. It was Weaver and someone else.
Yeah, there was. I believe there was 3 heroes because I did saw 3 deaths at one point in time. But this basically Dragon Knight to farm in mid for a bit. Dandy on top lane she's got an Oblivion Staff ready, so building towards that Orchid really, really quickly.
So this is an item that would probably have to be picked up maybe in the next, I'd say,
10
be
minutes?
8 to 5 minutes, because they need it real bad to keep this advantage up. Storm Spirit is doing actually really well for himself, and he has the items that he needs. But here you go again. Here comes the zap. Here comes the realizes that the Pugna is out of position as well, but suddenly gets stunned, and this might be a bit bad of a position. He needs to zip out of there, but the poison damage from DK is able to get the kill, and suddenly that Pugna one does work against Storm, and that's why I don't really maxing his two other spells, because they cost mana, and suddenly Pugna Ward just deals the damage to him. That's why I like maxing Overload, especially in this situation against Pugna. But Luna in the bottom lane, she's farming up okay. She's got past that tri lane point. She's level 5. She's got that 80 damage on her. She's got those treads. She's doing really well for herself now. But Clinks in the top lane with that Oblivion stuff suddenly does a bit more damage than this Weaver. He has to be careful at the same time. But Clinks could be a lot more aggressive right now.
Well, the thing is that Klinks hasn't gone into the jungle to eat a creep yet, and he doesn't have boots at all, so he's gonna be very careful. Now Dandy's gonna get caught out here. He's gonna man up actually, and then
Sukuchi doesn't need an invis unit, so it doesn't really work there. But suddenly, he's got 600 HP, and then nothing really bothers him that much anymore. But, Storm Spirit in the middle lane, wants to try and have something happen with this Crystal Maiden right here. Feel like they can kill this DK over and over and over again, but suddenly, the SK is here, to stop that aggression from Storm Spirit, and the Pugna's here as well.
Yeah, this ward will actually spot out the SK moving in, so Rhodora.X, they're gonna just back off a bit and probably rethink how they are gonna try to take this mid tier 1 tower down.
Yeah, so Storm Spirit decides to rotate to the bottom lane now. The pings are called out to kill A. He walks down the long way to make sure that, he doesn't get spotted, but Mirana backs up way up to realize that, Storm Spirit is missing. Picks up in the Quillet.
Yeah, sorry, I was saying that, I was just checking if the ward actually gives sight. I believe it does. If you press F3, it barely gives sight of Storm walking this way.
Yeah, so it actually gave them sight of where he was. So, it's great warding. This is what I mean, the control of it. So suddenly there's 4 people top now to deal with this, and I'm not sure if they have detection to deal with this, but they have the sentries, and he's going to walk straight into it, and that's a dead Clinks.
And Mirana forced to actually pop her Moonlight Shadow off as well. Wow.
In the bottom lane, we do have Mirana going down. The sentry ward's actually counter-rotated as well by her, but suddenly there's 2 kills going for both teams.
Yeah, that Mirana actually walked into the Wave of Terror from Vengeful Spirit, and they realized that she was still there. She kind of panicked. I think she couldn't TP out in time as well. And I mean, if she actually juked up into the trees here, because the Wave of Terror landed here, if she juked up into the trees, she would have been safe.
Yeah, but anyway, we're trying to have a little bit of a trade going on here, but the bottom tower is still on full HP, and they're trying to trade this out, but the fortification comes out, and Pugna, it's a better pusher than these 3 heroes down here with the Nether Blast. They do have DK with the poison attack as well, but Mirana starts to rotate, throws out an arrow. It's going to land on the Vengeful Spirit as well, so the Vengeful Spirit is quite a lot of spell, but this SK, here comes the Eclipse though, doing a lot of damage, but it wasn't enough in the Mirana, but Mirana just gets out of love. The Sand King dies to the Vengeful Spirit, and Luna is caught in a real bad spot, and Luna's dead.
I don't know what Luna was doing, and mid lane tower is gonna go down as well, and now Juno's gonna get caught and pulled back, and the stun from Juno will come out on Maddie, and Maddie still wants to go have. I mean, Weaver TP's in as well. Now she needs to zap away, and she will TP away in time. Fantastic TP there, but Pertz. No, Casey doesn't want to go on Pertz here, and Pertz does have enough mana for another magic missile, so she's gonna just back off.
Yeah, the Crystal Maiden with the Pugna as well. They both decided to just back off, It was Life Drain v Crystal Maiden ulti, and, Life Drain was the winner of that. The Crystal Maiden is just like, I'm going to back off on this. But anyway, we do have Storm Spirit, he's trying to get some kills going on right here, but your DK, he has his wand, he's very, very tanky, That's the good thing about DK, he becomes very, very tanky into the mid stages and early stages of the game with Dragon's Blood, which is actually not decided the level here, but he's still very, very tanky either way. So in the top lane we do have Clinks, forcing out tower. Uses the strength, especially with the Burning Spears. This will deal a lot of damage to the tower.
Yeah, and the tower is dropping to half health now. Moonlight Shadow gets used here in mid lane. We will see Maddie come in with. He really wanted to go on Dragon Knight, but they're in. Now everyone from Rhodora.X, they're gonna just back off a bit, with the exception of this Clinks.
Yeah, so Clinks is going to be in a bit of trouble. They do have sentries once again on both the heroes, so
Oh, he's just out of the range.
so he decides to walk up. That's actually a very, very, very smart choice.
The question is, oh, now they spot him there.
They found him out, and now all of a sudden he is in a lot of trouble. He's dead. But suddenly, there's 3 people from Ronda's side coming out. They want revenge on this kill. Stormspirit needs to try and grab something here, but I'm not sure if the ward's still up. No, it's not. And the SK stun was actually Stormspirit, but getting real, real low. But and that needs to get out of there. Good zip away, very nice zip away. But he needs to be cautious of this arrow, which may be able to hit him. But which swings a little bit wide, and suddenly the Crystal Maiden's almost taking a lot of damage, but the Urn may save her life. And SK stumps on the Vengeful Spirit. The Vengefule's caught out of position right now, but she is able to get the return kill on the SK, and suddenly Storm Spirit wants to go on this Mirana, which she will be able to get, which is a triple kill, but Pugna is manning up, and suddenly the Crystal Maiden will get the kill, and suddenly it's a 4-for-2 trade in favor of Ronda.
Yeah, Rhodora really doing very well in this game. And they are just forcing DTO to back off right now. And looking at the EXP graph, it's in the advantage of Rhodora right now with 3,000 advantage for them, and the gold graph as well is almost similar. I mean, look at both of the graphs; they look really similar right now, and all is going well for Rhodora.X.
Exactly right. And Storm Spirit, he made a big play by manning up right there, and it was the right quarterback, even though he was zipping back and forth, and the Pugna ward was doing quite a bit towards the end there. He did decide to man up, the Crystal Maiden was there to back him up, and suddenly it was a triple kill for Storm Spirit, and the Crystal Maiden was backing him up the whole time.
Yeah, and with that, I believe he will be building. Yeah, he's gotten the second quarterstaff already, so that's gonna be 2 silencers that DTO has to go up against, because Clinks is building towards silence as a silence stick as well.
And Kisama is just looking after a dead area right now, but decides to pick it up. So Storm Spirit is sitting in this middle lane right now against these 3 people, and taking a bit of damage from Breathe Fire. But he is level 11. He's decided to max out that overload right now. So I really like that decision. But DK caught a little bit out of position. Storm Spirit maybe not considering that, and he decides to back up because there's a Plague Ward there.
Sorry, I'm having some really delicious chocolate right now.
Okay.
So with that 15 minutes in, Clinks picks up his Orchid, and he's done the She's look for a kill on KC right now.
So we just got a little bit back and forth action going on in this middle lane, but Weaver is, that's the power of the Awkward right there, that just catches them all off guard, and then suddenly that Weaver's dead. Yeah,
and that's what you mentioned as well, you didn't like the Weaver pickup from DTO.
Yep. Because there's a Clinks, there's a if that Clink gets farmed, yeah, exactly. He's got an Orchid now, and he's going to go hunting for that way, because or he can even go hunting for the Mirana, which is both very, very acceptable to silencers, especially Orchid. But, SK decides to go in the stun on the Storm Spirit. I'm not sure if they'll be able to kill Storm Spirit in enough time. But, they're trying to get the damage on, but it's not going to be enough. But if he decides to pop any of his mana, he will be in a lot of trouble. Suddenly, in the bottom lane, we've got Vengeful. Very nice positioning right now. He does not have any detection, but, they will save Mirana's life for him in Moonlight Shadow.
Oh, well, this Mirana has been getting some free farm here, but now she's going to be stopped by both Purds as well as Bibi Rosha on the Luna and Vengeful Spirit there. And one more tower is going to fall here. Klink's going to take the top tier 1 tower and TP away. And DTO, they kind of have lost their objectivity. Second tower going to go down in favor of Rhodora.X. The bot tier.
So we have an arrow into the middle lane as well, which catches the Crystal Maiden. Sorry to interrupt.
Yep.
But, suddenly Sorcerer Tip in trying to save her life, and she pops the Invis rune. Suddenly Storm has no detection. Another Invis will be able to save her life.
Yeah, I'm wondering which team will actually pick up the gem first.
So we do have a Dragon form right now as well, but the stuns are not chained, and suddenly the Storm will be able to zip away once again. So, they're really trying to get rid of the Storm Spirit. The Pug Ward's just giving him 3 gold to the Vengeful Spirit as well. It's 80 gold for that. So, but suddenly, the Clicks has found out, so they will be backing off right now. And double sentry ward coming up when for both supports. They're saying, we know where you are, but suddenly the Weaver's caught out of position once again. But we do have a team fight in the middle lane with Vengeful Spirit getting stunned by the DK as well as the SK. But so good Crystal Maiden ulti getting one kill as well. The Weaver will drop to the Clinks, and suddenly Luna's here with the Eclipse trying to do the majority of damage that he can, and Pugna is just going to fall to the Storm Spirit. But the Nether Blast is almost enough, and Luna with the Lucent Plane is able to catch the DK out. So nice rotation from the Luna there, helping out his team, and as well as the Clinks catching out the Weaver.
Yeah, I kind of feel that if the Mirana was in the team fight just now, she might have been able to turn things around because she does have a max out Starstorm as well as a level 3 Sacred Arrow. And the leap will just provide some movement speed to her teammates as well. But yeah, this is kind of reminiscent of the previous game where, the Lifestealer from Rhodora.X just farmed even as her teammates were getting slaughtered.
Yeah, exactly right. And also, we are also got to take into consideration that as the neck graph shows, the neck worth, so 3 people, the 3 cores, all very, very close, while the 3 cores on the other side are not really doing that well. And Weaver is second last for a safe lane Weaver. I mean, that's just the power of, Clinks being an annoyance to the Weaver as well.
Yeah, and of course Clinks, he got that solo kill on the Weaver as well, so, and he's been farming up a lot. We were talking about how the Weaver nearly killed the Clinks a few times, but yeah, it seems like this Clinks has been Dandy has been farming really, really well.
But we do have Clinks going on this Weaver again, but he sort of misplayed that very, very hard. But he almost killed that Weaver, even though she should have positioned herself more effectively. She would have easily gotten that kill. But look at all these sentry wards into a middle lane with the middle. There's 3 there, and there's a ward, 2 wards very, very close to each other on the right. So they left this whole area here, that whole area, just unwarded.
Yeah, the problem right now is not that DTO has too many wards. It's, we're gonna see a haste rune on Crystal Maiden here, and the stun comes in on Storm Spirit. Will he be able to get away in time? No, he will not. Epicenter gonna get popped as well, but Starlight not able, no Blink Dagger on him, no Bar Strike as well, so he's not gonna be able to catch anyone right now. Pertz is gonna get stunned here, Nether Blasted, and Pugna gonna get double kill here. Still, DTO wants to go ham.
So suddenly we've got the DK, and all 4 members of DTO take this aggression, but Luna needs to, she purchases a big KB just in case she does actually die. So she walks into the west, but she shouldn't actually die. And Pugna pencils essentially what down, but in the top lane we did have Weaver try to kill the Mirana, as she is very, very low, but it wasn't enough. I mean, I didn't actually see what happened, but I caught the start of it. But then all of a sudden, you got a team fight going on in the middle with the Storm Spirit being out of position. He does have his Orchid right now, but with the way DTO are just trying to pick on him a lot, I feel like a big KB maybe would have been a better choice. But having a big KB on a intelligence hero that wants to take the aggression is not always one of the best things. But if it needs to be done, it needs to be done.
Yeah, I kind of feel that what Storm Spirit really is just to keep picking on people. You need to be finding the squishy supports like Pugna. Well, Pugna's not the squishiest of supports, but he just needs to find those supports and kill them. Maybe Weaver can go after. Clinks can actually go after Weaver here, but that's what she's doing. She TP'd bot once she saw the Weaver there. She's gonna get some farm and try to stop that Weaver. But Weaver's gonna TP up, and this Weaver is just not doing so well at all. She's still She's still 3rd on the net worth with 3,300 points, and the Sand King is just 1,400 points away, and that's just not good for DTO right now.
It's not something that you really want to see, especially with the Weaver. Well, we do have the top lane push coming out for DTO right now. This may be trying to dictate something and trying to force a little bit of a team fight, but we do have those 2 silences. That is probably why they want to try and force a fire right now, because they got BKB on their DK. But BKB may be the saviour of the game right now because of the DK. But DK being level 11 has decent farm for now. But they do have a Luna who has a big KB and a Helm of the Dominator, who's farming really effectively as well. And we do have a Clinks with a crit stick right now, so it's becoming very, very dangerous for DTO right now because Ronda. I keep calling it Ronda for some reason. I don't know why, but we do have Clinks really caught out, really caught out, and his ulti wore off as well. But there's no follow-up stun. Dust will be able to slow him down the tiniest bit. But, Storm Spirit's there, and just Tremebi trying to bait this out. Takes the Remnant. Suddenly there's a stun on the SK. Storm Spirit wants to try and do this, but the silence comes out. And that's a really early BKB on that DK. That's really unnecessary. The arrow tries to come out as well. But suddenly, the Marana's dead. She's got bursted down. Suddenly, the Clinks is taking out the Sand King involved. It's just splitting up going on everywhere. Clinks is really out of position and he will fall. And this DK, he has no BKB right now, but suddenly Storm is going on this the Storm Spirit right now. Storm's going onto the Pugna, and Pugna's just dead. And the supports are just trying to cut these two cores around. DK is going to get stunned by Vengeful Spirit, and Storm is still alive, trying to do as much work as he can. He does a triple kill, and he does have enough under to zap right now. If he can zap and get that Orchid off, that might be enough, especially with overload charges. Weaver does not have enough mana, and the Archangel has popped. I feel like he could have gone that, especially if he changed his intelligence to intelligence stretch and keep going. But, that was his choice to make, and Luna was free farming in the top lane that whole time. So, man, I can't actually hear you right now again. So we are having a little bit of technical difficulties with our communication services right now, but we will be trying to get this back as soon as possible. So, as May is trying to fix the communication right now, I'm just watching. It's Clinks. So, things are just going on everywhere now. Why? The Swarm is used to scout Roshan. So maybe, they're in favor of Roshan attempt, but, suddenly the Luna is just, pushing the top tier tower, and this is just turning into a trade that Ronda just can't take.
Hello? Andy?
Hello.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, I'm reconnecting back to the game. I do apologize for that. Not sure what's going on, but yeah.
So Maya is returned and everything's okay. So as I was saying, they basically just took a chit trade, and Clinks is really out of position here. If they have Dust or whatever they have right now, the stun comes out as well. Whereas they do have Sentry Wards and Dust, so that Clinks is pretty much dead. He is dead. He was out of position by a mile. The arrow is just flown out, but the damage was enough. Or the damage is done.
Yeah, the thing is that Clinks did buy his Blink Dagger before he died. She died.
Yep.
It's really interesting though. I don't really see a Blink Dagger Clinks.
That's EE Sama, Eternal Envy. Except he goes Soul Ring because Soul Ring counter-reacts the ultis, which is actually really smart. But anyway, we do have the supports gathering up, suspecting Storm to go onto this Weaver, which is actually very smart. And Pugnus decides to show his face a little bit, just show that we're here to protect our teammates. But bottom lane there's farm coming in, and Luna is definitely going to have a TP for that. She'll get down there. But Dick. Storm's just using the Remnants to be able to get some vision going on, and they do decide to go on this run. A nice dodge by the Storm as well, but the Orchid pop will be able to get it, and Venture's caught out of position by the stun on DK and the Epicenter. But Crystal Man's caught out of position. Storm's popped a Regeneration Rune and just decides to zip away, but honestly I would just try to bait as many spells as I can with this Regeneration, but he's just got to play it safe and just regen all his mana back up.
Sorry. Yeah, right now it seems really even, but I'm looking at the kill scores right now. Rhodora.X, they have like 24 kills and 16 kills on DTO. And right now DTO, they are, oh wow, the dive career.
So, sorry to interrupt you, but as you were saying that, I took a look at the XP graph. They're 12k ahead in golden experience. That's a massive lead, and that's way 2k bigger than what it is before. So, the XP and the goal graph is just way ahead in Rondero's side. And, you know, the Clinks are still hunting them down, but, you know, he's getting caught out of position quite a bit. And, you know, he needs to stop doing that because, you know, their supports are just going to hold on to these sentries and, you know, they'll take whatever kills they can find.
Yeah, you know, I just don't think that Clinks should be the one doing these sort of ganks right now. We are gonna see Maddie actually come in and pull Nyaw here, and Nyaw's gonna just drop right now. Fantastic play, and yeah, this is what I was talking about, that Storm Spirit should be the one that's doing all these ganks, doing all these pickoffs, where whilst the Clinks goes and basically just pushes towers.
Like, you're alright, like, you know, Clinks is just doing a little bit too much of the moving around, but, you know, DK's sticking around a little bit too much. You know, these people need to just stroll on out of here as quickly as they can before the Storm Spirit eventually finds them, but he's going to find them, and is he going to grip someone? I'm not entirely sure, but, you know, he's going to grip this SK. That is caught out of position, and, you know, he's basically left for dead.
Yeah, his teammates are like, nope, we go now, bye.
Yeah. So
Baby Rosha's gonna eat the arrows right now, and now Mirana's just gonna come in Star Storm, and she does not. She's gonna pop a BKB and try to pop off the Eclipse as well. It gets off the first beam, but she will go down.
Yeah, honestly, I would have just taken the death and said, you know, I'm pretty much dead here. I wouldn't have forced, like, I think that was a 10-second BKB. Yeah, that was a 10-second BKB. Yeah. So I wouldn't have definitely just said, you know, I'm pretty much dead, and I'll just take that death.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some of the items that they have right now. Sun stick up on both the Storm Spirit as well as Clinks, and the Blink Dagger also on Dandy here. Bibi Rosha is building towards the Manta style, has a Yasha on her, and AV on the Crystal Maiden has a 4-star, so she will be able to 4-star herself or any teammates out of that SK stun should there be a need. And any other huge items on DTO side, on Juno, on the Dragon Knight, she does have a Sanj, so probably building towards a what's that called? Abyssal Blade.
In the Sanj, no, that's it. Sanj and Yasha Heaven's Halberd.
Oh yeah, she's building towards a SNY. Sorry.
Yep. That's okay.
Does have the Blade of Alacrity and the Elven Skin band on her in her stash, and that's really about it. I mean, Mirana's chosen to go for the Yasha and the Ultimate Orb. I don't know, maybe she could have gotten a Lincoln Sphere early game. That might have saved her.
Yes, you're all right, but, you know, at the same time, Manta does exactly the same thing because, you know, when you split up, it gets rid of the awkward, and she can just leap away. But, you know, it's entirely up to her whether or not Manta style or, you know, Lincoln. You know, here comes the core items though. There's the Weaver with the Lincoln Sphere. Even though it is 30 minutes in, it's still got the Lincoln Sphere, which is a bit of a pain for the Storm Spirit and the Clinks to be able to kill them at the moment. We still have, except when Storm Spirit pulls out an item like that with a Scythe of Ice. So he is exceptionally farmed, especially he's 13-4 right now. So here comes the Moonlight Shadow that they have detection to figure out what is going on right now. I don't think they do. The SK can line this up really well, but here comes the Sentry Ward. They are picked up, so we're still into the Crystal Maiden, but the Storm Spirit zips away, and now the team fight's just split up, but, you know, Clink's just pumping out the damage, and, you know, Diko's trying to man up, but he just can't just man up. Storm picks up the Weaver in the meantime. You know, he's dead as well, even though he has the Lincoln Sphere, and suddenly Clinks picks up the Pugna as well as the DK, you know, and
yeah, it's basically almost a team wipe there. DTO just went in without any sight at all.
Like, they went in guessing that, you know, they were in rush down, they were doing it. And they obviously weren't until Crystal Maiden placed down a Sentry Ward saying that, you know, they were there, and Storm picks up the Aegis the Aegis, and suddenly, you know, that's going to be a harder Storm Spirit to kill because, you know, they can't really kill the Clinks right now because, you know, they can, but, you know, they're letting a Storm Spirit, you know, do their work. And then you're letting Luna, he's got a Manta style, I would say. If she has got a Manta style, just pumping out the damage with 200. I mean, she's got 200 damage right now within the 3 items, which is actually, you know, incredible.
That's right. I mean, of course, that 200 damage is includes the Vengeance Aura from Vengeful Spirit, so
yeah,
a ton of damage, and that was what exactly that they wanted in the first place. So now the arrow's gonna land on Maddie here on the Storm Spirit, and everyone's gonna set on him, but the swap to save that Storm Spirit from Perts here, and now Eclipse comes in from the Luna as well. The Aegis will pop here, but Luna's just doing a lot. Triple kill for this Luna right now. Wow, she's just manning up, and Storm Spirit's just gonna come in and try to get some kills off as well.
But suddenly the Luna's left for dead under the towers and now Clinks is in there. He's alone. Suddenly SK's got another stun, the Silence is about to work, but Storm decides to come back in and he's going to man up right now. He's maybe able to zip, but he grabs him and that's going to be that. Well played from the Storm Spirit right there. That was very, very close because the Breathe Fire was on cooldown, but the Crystal Maiden suddenly dies from the tower and the Storm dies from the tower as well. That was a terrible misplay. And suddenly Clinks is just it's the only one alive. I'm not really sure what Maddie was thinking right there. She could have zipped and avoided that, but yeah, she just gave 1k gold to the DK, and now that's going to be a tower down. But Pugner is alive, so we'll see what he can do against this. But you know, Clinks is doing a lot of damage, and you know, I don't think Pugner really wants to get into the middle of that because he'll probably die. But you know, here comes the blink, and that's a Rhodora.X gone.
Yeah, Danny just. I don't know what to say. I was gonna say someone stole the rampage from the Storm Spirit and then suddenly he died. I'm like, okay, it's okay, never mind.
Yeah, that was. I'm not sure what happened. Crystal Maiden just didn't manage her health very, very well, and she died to the tower, and then the aggro was spot. But Pugner's caught in a really, really bad position. He is dead. He's been found by the Clinks.
But
maybe not, because his attack actually missed. I'm not entirely sure. Or maybe his attack wasn't exactly a crit, or his ulti just wore off. I think his ulti wore off at the same time.
Yeah, his ulti just wore off.
Yeah, that's why the damage. But the Mirana leaps into the trees. You know, bit of a misplay, but just dead bears out. And the Weaver is trying to get some treads up right now, but you know, suddenly it is a 20k gold lead. Of 17k to an 18k gold lead and a 20k experience lead for Rondo right now, and there's the pick off by Clinks again. They need to stop this guy from getting the pickoffs right now because you know it's not Storm Spirit doing the pickoffs right now. It's the one Clinks with the big KB. And you know, he gets arrowed and he is really, really caught out right here. He's like he pops up big KB, mans up. He mans up on his clip saying this is the high ground. He doesn't kill the Pugner, but he does give it a try.
The heal.
Yeah. So basically, he tries to just give it a bit of a go, but you know. The Pugner almost died, but you know, it wasn't enough damage.
Yeah, it's just this game is just turning really funny right now. Like, both teams, Rhodora.X, they really want to try to take this game, but you know, I kind of feel they need to just to man up, but they need to 5-man. And you know, then Clinks comes in to clean up afterwards, but DTO is just doing so good in terms of warding these sentry wards here. They don't want to get a gem because you know if they lose that gem right now, then the Storm Spirit's gonna be zipping around with that gem. That arrow's gonna fly very wide. Ivy is gonna be like, yeah, I walk into the arrow maybe. But right now, you know, DTO they don't have an answer to the hard hitting BB Rosha on the Luna, and you know the damage. Excuse me, look at that damage without the Vengeful Spirit's aura. It's just barely 200, and now if coupled with Pert's the VS aura, it's going to just be a lot more. And the glaives as well, they will just shred through the crypts as well as the towers. And DTO, they're just sitting in their base right now saying, you know, we'll try to do something, but it's going to be hard.
Exactly. I mean, the DK, he's got a fairly decent on, so maybe if they got in the Soul Curious, you know, this would be a lot more easier to be managed to defend, but you know, it is very, very weird.
Yeah, I know, and right now it just feels like both teams. Well, I mean, looking at the buyback status, there is a buyback on both the Luna as well as the Dragon Knight, and no one else has enough gold for buyback. So I still kind of feel the game can go either way. If Rhodora.X kind of chose the game, you know, then the DTO's just gonna pounce on any advantage that they can get.
Definitely. So we are going to have this push into the top lane, but the Clinks just, you know, scanning out into the bottom lane. Storm Spirit is actually farming up a big KB. I do like this choice. It's a very, very safe choice, you know, with the Orchid and such butts. But, you know, here comes the Moonlight Shadow. They don't think they have any detection whatsoever, so they are just going to creep up on this. Suddenly it's a two-man stun. Here comes the epicenter, but it is cancelled immediately. Here comes the eclipse. The Storm Spirit as well. Luna keeps moving forward. That is a very, very smart decision to keep moving forward like this. But she needs the backup from the Storm. The Storm's not helping over there at all, and suddenly she's left for dead. But Clinks is pushing up into this bottom lane now, so they're just trying to buy a bit of time. And Clinks will definitely get this tower, but the supports from Rudder actually really caught, and the Storm decides to man up. I'm not sure if that tie is the right choice, but he needs to keep zip-zapping for the overload charges, and it will be enough for the Storm Spirit. And the Crystal Maiden ulti doing a lot of work right now too, and very nice play from the Crystal Maiden ulti right there. And Clinks is in the bottom lane just pushing this through.
Yeah, that Crystal Maiden ulti caught 2 heroes there and basically swept the doom of them, of the Pugna as well as the Sand King. So really unfortunate also that the Sand King got her ultimate cancelled by the Vengeful Spirit. Very, very quick thinking there. Vengeful was not caught in stun, and she managed to get the stun off.
Yeah, in the bottom lane we do have a very nice return for the Crystal Maiden, but with the DTO calls GG, and that will be the end of this game. So well played to Ronda right there, even though I think that Ronda has won both games, haven't they?
No, I believe it was DTO who won the first one.
Yeah, so well played to Ronda, making it to a 1-1 and not having a deficit to them.
Yeah, so this is a 2-round round robin, so we will have more games tonight as well. I believe the next game is at 8 p.m. SGT. It is about 6:30 right now, so the next game I'm not too sure if I'll be able to cast it, because it's time for dinner and a bit late for you as well, Andy. But we'll see. Do keep yourselves updated on the Facebook page of Female Dota 2, and go to the website as well, femaledota2.com, for more updates. And if you guys are watching in the stream, watching from the Twitch stream itself, do go and grab a ticket. It is only 99 cents, and the money for that will most likely go to the prize pool of this tournament. So once again, my name is Maya, and I've been joined by Andy Tron. We will see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.